Good evening, it's Julia Katsivo, your career transition success coach and strategist. It is Thursday, January 5th. We are doing our Facebook Live at 7, where we're answering challenge questions that have been sent to me through social media, texts, phone calls, emails, and these are the questions that you want answered. Why? So that you can move on to a great 2017. Uh, Challenges are sort of like those speed bumps that if you don't take care of them, it makes for a really bumpy ride. So the good news is when you take on the task of doing this right away and you decide to go ahead and tackle whatever issues you're experiencing from the very beginning, you tend to have a bit of a more smooth sailing down the road. So at the very beginning, it's tough because instead of perhaps just moving on and living in denial about the things that are stopping you or getting in your way, you'd rather just take that time and work through it so that you can move on. And that's what we're doing today. And that's what we're doing starting, the last few days where we've been answering different questions that have been coming to me. So just to let you know, I'm not answering these questions because I have all the answers to everything. That's not true at all. It's just these are things that I went through myself. These are things that other people in the business community have gone through. These are things that successful people have gone through. And if you think about it, in other aspects of your life, these are things that you have gone through. It's just that perhaps you need some perspective or strategies that will work within this setting of the business world where you are just starting or just really working up your business to get it off the ground and to get it to that place where it can start paying for itself. Because we do have plans to run successful businesses, don't we? Isn't that why we're here? Isn't that what we're doing? When we have our ventures and we're going out and talking to people about our products and services. And are you talking to people about your products and services? We are 5 days into January 2017, right? So we're 5 days into 2017. How many people have you talked to about what you do and what you can do and the benefits that you can bring to the table? How many people have you talked to? I'd like to know. Okay, so while you ponder that, I'm going to jump right into our challenge question. And the one that I picked for today is, a lot of you are going to like this one, and others, you've probably been there. So this is the question. The challenge is, I wonder if I made a mistake because I'm not seeing the results I want and need to see in my business. I'm wondering if I made a mistake because I'm not seeing the results I want and need to see in my business. Kind of like buyer's remorse. Well, I guess the only person who can answer the question, did you make a mistake, is you. Did you make a mistake? Did you make a mistake in choosing this vocation? Or depending on how you look at life, did you make a mistake accepting the call for your vocation in case you decide that you were chosen, that you didn't really do the choosing? Was that a mistake? Was it a mistake to say yes to a product or a service that changed your life, that you know could change other people's lives? Was that a mistake? Was that all a figment of your imagination? Is that what this is to you? And what does your life look like without what you do, without what you offer, without what you bring to the table? Are you happier? Are you healthier? You're probably thinking you're richer if you didn't do what you did. So what does your life look like without your vocation? Does it have more meaning for you? Are you okay letting it go? No? So I'll give you just a moment to think about that. If you're of the mindset that I know you are, and hope you are sincerely, and know that you are, then you are doing some introspection right now and you're thinking that, no, it wasn't a mistake. to do what you do, to believe in the product or the services that you do, and that this is something that you're really passionate about. This is something that you believe in. This is something that you love. If you look at your life, it's probably enriched it in ways that you can't quite describe. You probably can't see yourself without what you do, not because your identity is tied up in it, but because you believe in it so much, or you really want it to work. So the first thing that we square away with this challenge question, which is, I wonder if I made a mistake because I'm not seeing the results I want and need to see in my business, is to get into the constant practice of asking ourselves about our why. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? You know, like, why are we doing this? Did we take this on because we thought it would be fun? Like, what was the motivation? And if you're driven by something more than, oh, I just thought it would be something nice to do, then you're probably in for the long run, right? Like, you're probably into the finish line, and you understand that this is not a race. It's something that's going to take a bit of walking, a bit of running, a bit of crawling, whatever needs to happen, but you're willing to do it all so that you can achieve your goals. That's the premise here. So I'm going to move over to the second part of this challenge question, which is the reason that we feel so defeated, where we're wondering and second guessing ourselves and really wondering if we made the right decision, if this was a good move, is because the results are not coming in, right? And these are results that we need to see, results that we were hoping to see. And if a lot of you are expected to bring in the money so that you can pay your way, I'm assuming that's most of you, then you need to see some cash flowing in. You need to see some things coming in. So we're going to jump right into this challenge question. And I'm going to ask you, a question right now, or rather I'm just going to make it into a smart activity, okay? So you're wondering about the lack of results from your business life. And the one thing that I want you to do for me right now is to pull up your phone. No, so if you're watching this on your cell phone, find a way to govern yourself, okay? It's available on a desktop, on a tablet. Just do that somehow, because I need you to pull up your phone. And I want you to go to your call log. I want you to go to the calls, the log of the calls that you have placed and you have received. And I want you to do an analysis of the calls that you have placed and received in the last 3 months. We'll say 3 months because this is January, and probably in December, the only calls you were placing and whatnot had to do with festivities and fun and family and friends, right? So we'll take you back to November and September and October and just go back. And if you had issues within the family or things that took your time away, I don't care. Just go back to a period in time where you can look at your calls coming in and your calls going out. And I want you to pay close attention to where you are getting the most calls and to whom you are placing the most calls. In fact, I want you to write down what you see. So this is very effective because there was a time when I was not seeing results, right? And when I went to my phone and I looked at the people who were calling me and the people I was reaching out to, they had nothing to do with my business though. Like nothing. Not at all. They were just people I hang around with. So is that your situation? Because your phone should tell you that you are having sales conversations. Multiple sales conversations. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I want you to pull up your calendar. If you don't have appointments in your calendar, well, that should be obvious. But if you don't have things that you have listed on your calendar, time that you have segmented so that you can do what needs to be done for your business. So if you don't have time specifically set aside on your calendar according to your schedule that says, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Doing follow-up calls Monday to Friday, if you don't have that in your calendar, then we have a problem. So when you look at the call log and you look at your calendar, they should in fact be able to tell you how healthy you are in your daily steps. And I'm willing to bet that if you are struggling to see results, that we have a pretty unhealthy call log and calendar. I'm willing to bet that that is the problem right there. And so your solution becomes pretty simple. You have a plan, you need to follow it. You need to do what you said you will do every single day and make no excuses. And if you're not able to follow the plan, then you need to do something that is akin to the plan. So for example, if you meant to reach out to 20 people, let's say through phone calls, and you did not reach out to the 20 people, well, you need to do something that's sort of going to make up for that, right? And you have to be accountable to yourself. You're the one who wants the money. You're the one who needs your business to succeed. You're the one who needs to see these results. They're going to affect you, and they're going to affect people in your direct circle that you're responsible for. And they're also going to affect, your decisions are going to affect the people who could be using products and services that are not, because you're not out there doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the key is to commit to doing what you said you will do every single day, and not to look too much at the grand picture, but to the very next step. So what are your steps? Are you supposed to reach out to, then do that. Reach out to 2 people. Are you supposed to reach out to 5 people? Then reach out to 5 people, and don't overthink it. Just do the steps. Just kind of like just close your eyes and go into that mode where you say, this is what I have to do, and then go on and do it. When we stick to the plan and we follow through with it, we get a lot of advantages. First off, we get to know whether we have a plan that works. So many people will come up with a plan. So let's say for your business plan, they will say that, I just need to reach out to X number of people a day, and I get my quota, I get my sale at the end of the month or the week, whatever the case may be. And for 2 or 3 days, they may do so religiously, usually at the start, right? Or somewhere in the middle, or maybe toward the end when they're panicking because they're not seeing results. When you look at that plan and you say, well, is it effective? Is it working? The person isn't in a position to say yes or no, because you're not really doing it. But if you actually follow through with a plan from start to finish, you have the advantage of looking at it realistically and then evaluating its results. So you say, okay, so I followed this plan from the beginning to the end. My goal was to get 1 signed client at the end of the month. These were the number of calls, the number of visits, the number of events, whatever the case may be that I planned out for the month. I did this from the 1st to the 31st, and I took maybe 2 or 3 days off. I made up for it by doing XYZ. I went above and beyond in XYZ, so it's looking at that complete picture and then asking, so what was effective about this? What wasn't effective about this? What do I need to tweak? What do I need to change so that I can then repeat my plan in the next month with the modifications? But when we're inconsistent, when we don't stick to the plan, when we're less than 50% in, or when we just give up or find all manner of excuses to take over so that we're not committed, because we've sort of like grown up and lived for a really long time in a culture where we're accountable to other people and other things, but not ourselves, right? So by that, I mean that, as children, you're accountable to your parents or your guardians. And when you go to school, if you went to school, you're accountable to your teachers and your guardians in that environment as well. And when you got your jobs and you got your first job, even if it was McDonald's or, working wherever it was, you're accountable to your supervisor and you're accountable to the organization, and moving on. And then here you want to start something different where you don't have the people to be accountable to, not in that regard. Your work is not as clean cut as saying, here's already a list of names, go through it. Like, it's a completely different mindset where you are now accountable to yourself, except that doesn't work really well, because human nature, we need to get gratification. Where's the reward in doing what you said that you were going to do? There is no reward. The reward is in the action itself and the process of going through and doing what you said you have to do. That sounds like a lot of grown-up stuff, and it doesn't matter how old we are. Who wants to do that? So when we abide by the calendar and when we honor the calendar, we're more likely to see results in our life than not. And when we work the calendar we give ourselves ample opportunity and information that we can review and see whether we are on track, what needs to be changed, and what needs to be tweaked. I promise you that you will not see results in your life if you do not stick to your plan. I promise you that you will not see results in your life if you do not do what you know to do. And I promise you that you are the one who is going to bear that burden of knowing that you did not do all that you could with the time that was given to you to work on your business. So it really all just boils down to you. Now I get it. Motivation, accountability, all of that stuff is hard work. And, it sounds easy when you look at me and say, oh yeah, you can go ahead and say that, Julia. You don't have to go through X, Y. That's the truth is we're all human and we all have things we have to go through. It's just that there's some people who have been able to master the kind of discipline and drive and focus that allows them to accomplish their goals much faster or better or just accomplish them, period, than others. And there are techniques and there are ways to do this. And there are processes to follow on a regular basis, on a daily basis, that not only work on the mindset, but on the actual physical actions that need to take place so that you can achieve your goals. Now, if you're interested in my last few broadcasts, including today, I have a link up there. It says I Dare to I Did It. And this is my new online course. And I'm very excited about it because it's actually 12 months. And what we do is once a week, you get emails on lessons and they go through different modules. So we go all the way from mindset, from habit cycles, all the way to branding, to marketing, to sales systems, sales conversations, to your products, to pricing structures. It's a very comprehensive package. And the purpose for this is so that you can go from having an idea of going out and doing your own thing to walking out with a plan and also really good understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. So it delves into that psychology as well as a lot of up-to-date information that will help you grasp the fundamentals that you need and the basics. So we're talking business and we are talking psychology, whatever it is that you need so that you can move on. The great thing too is that once a month, based on the topic of that month, I bring on an expert guest speaker who is actually going to speak and expound on some of the the issues that are brought up and some of the things that we look at. And this allows you that added information and knowledge so that you can attribute this to your business. The homework that is given every week is directly applicable to your business. So this is not something that you take and it adds on to your life and to burden it, not at all. It is that you get taught a principle, you get to apply to your business. And in addition to that, because this is online, you get to keep your information. So we do have a lot of breaks in between. Well, not a lot, but we have substantial breaks in between. We take a break for the whole month of August and 2 weeks in December. And you may be able to use that time to just refresh and just go back and look at some of the modules and some of the ways that you can go back and revisit your thoughts on what you previously thought. The content is yours forever. You pay for it and it's yours forever and you can always go back on it. I'm very excited too about the price point. So when you sign up with me today, it's $299 plus tax, and this is Canadian. And then every month on the 1st, it's $191. $191, and I work with you once a week. You get your lessons, you get your homework. Once a month, you get to hear from an expert. And it's also unlimited online support. And in addition to that, you also get the opportunity to showcase what it is that you do. And I teach you how to showcase so that you can get your results. It's one thing to broadcast your products and services, but there's also a way that you can do this so that you can get maximum impact and you can drive people to contact you so that you can have your sales conversations on a one-on-one basis. We look at the calendar, we look at the mindset. So things that we talked about today, we take care of that. I don't want you going around saying, you wonder if you made a mistake because you're not seeing results. I'm all about results. I'm all about results. And those are the things that we're going to do is look at that so that you can have the results. So we start in January. The course started yesterday. You sign up today, you get your material in time for next week. It is $299 plus tax. And then every month thereafter, it is $191 plus tax. And it's something that I highly, highly, highly advise you to sign up for today so that you can get started and we can stop questioning ourselves, our worth and our values, and whether we're in the right business or whether we're going to make any money. Of course we will. We just need to know what the processes are and to follow them. And if you're like me, we also need to understand the reasoning behind why we do what we do for ourselves and for our business. And this is what's going to allow us to rededicate each time so that we can apply ourselves fully. Okay, so contact me. The link is at the top, and I will talk to you shortly again. Keep those questions coming. I love the challenges. Take care and have a great night.